Do you need someone to talk to you about music the way Americans talk about football? I know I do, and that's why I'm here to fill that void. Welcome to Mel's Music Minute podcast, where we talk about my favorite music genres and rank the bands. I'll start by explaining my podcast a little. So, in this podcast, I choose a music genre, and from that genre, I choose 5 popular bands and 5 lesser-known bands, or at least ones that are, less talked about. And then I have 6 categories: S, A, B, C, D, and F. S tier is the top. This is the best of the best. You want your music to be great. This is where it's going. F is the worst. You don't want your music here. That means it sucks. Finally, I'm going to say that these are my opinions. Everyone has their own opinions on music. These are mine. Don't come for me. Also, a lot of things influence my decision: the lyrics, the music itself, and the people in the bands, but I'll try to keep it mostly to the music. Now I'll introduce my genre and give a brief overview of what it is. Today my genre is grunge. It's one of my favorite genres of all time, and it's what got me into rock and metal music in the first place. Grunge is synonymous with the 90s, especially 90s Seattle. It started from bands like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and even lesser known bands like Green River and Malfunction. The grunge music is known for its dirtier, grungier sound. That's where the name comes from. There's usually distorted guitars in the music, and the lyrics are usually pretty dark or with darker, sadder undertones. And that's my overview of grunge. Now that we've gone over our genre, I'll begin ranking the bands, starting with our first band, Pearl Jam. I think Pearl Jam is pretty well known. They're still making music today, and they're definitely one of the bigger bands. For Pearl Jam, I think I'd put them in A, because their music it's really good. It just is. It's really good. But I can't put it in S tier because I just can't take Eddie Vedder's singing seriously. The lyrics are great. I love the lyrics, but I can't understand a word he's saying. It's pretty bad with their song Even Flow, but I think Yellow Ledbetter is worse because it kind of sounds like a mockery of their band, because he's just singing gibberish. I don't know. The lyrics, they just don't exist. So Pearl Jam is going in A. Next, I'll talk about a lesser known band. I don't hear a lot talked about them. This is Mother Love Bone, which is actually one of the influences for Pearl Jam, and 2 of the members from Mother Love Bone are also in Pearl Jam. So for Mother Love Bone, they kind of came at the end of the 80s, and so they definitely have a lot of influence from the 80s. They're I don't know, I have mixed feelings on them, but I remember the first time that I listened to them, I really liked a few songs, but the rest were just really bad. But when I went back to listen to them before the podcast, they're a lot better than I remember. And for that alone, honestly, I'd probably put them in B tier. Next, my second big band that I think, once again, a lot of people know is Soundgarden. Soundgarden was originally going to go not too far down on the list, but pretty low on the list, because they're one of those bands that is so often played around my house that I don't really even realize how good it is anymore. Every day my dad cooks, he'll play Soundgarden when he cooks, or just in general 90s music, which is great and all, but I hear it so often, and especially with Black Hole Sun, I can't hear it anymore. I can't hear that song anymore. It's horrible. I hear it so often, I don't want to ever hear it again. But I went back to listen to some of their other songs that I do enjoy, like Burden in My Hand and 4th of July. And when I listened to them again, I had to put them a lot higher because they actually are so good. They're not just Black Hole Sun. So I would put them in A tier. I just need to stop listening to them so often. My next band, which is once again a smaller band, is Mudhoney. Mudhoney is one of those bands that I don't hear anyone talk about, so I really wanted to talk about them So Mudhoney is a lot more like, I don't know, they're a lot more messy than other bands in the grunge space, I feel like. And their singer's voice is it's kind of hard to listen to, but not too annoying that I can't listen to it. In fact, it's pretty good. Their songs are they're not the most amazing thing I've listened to, but I do really like them. I don't really know how to describe it. They're pretty good. I like the guitar in them. I also really like one of their album covers a lot, and I've tried to draw it multiple times. This is completely irrelevant. Draw that album cover multiple times, and it's just too hard for me. But I'll eventually get there. But because Mudhoney isn't like anything super special, they're kind of messy, and it's not like the most amazing thing I've ever heard, I'm gonna probably put them in C tier because I kind of know that they're not that good, but I do like them, so it's not going below C. For my third big band of the grunge era, I'll be talking about Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains is definitely one of my favorite bands from the grunge era. They're more metal than grunge. They're a lot heavier, but their music, I don't think there's a single song I don't like by them. All of their songs are amazing, and I think I've heard every single song. Even new Alice in Chains is great. I feel like I don't see a lot of talk about newer Alice in Chains, but I think both Lane Staley and William DeVoe have great voices, and I think they're both great musicians. So because Alice in Chains is just that good, I like every single one of their songs. The lyrics are great. The music is great. They're going to be my first band in S tier. Let's go. Now, my third lesser known band, so this is my sixth band in total, is Screaming Trees. Once again, I don't hear a lot about Screaming Trees, and it makes me kind of sad because they're really good. I don't know, I feel like they're a lot less heavy than the rest of the bands. They're a lot more, not necessarily acoustic, but they kind of sound more acoustic, and they're less heavy than the other bands, but their music is just, it's like heaven to my ears. It's so good. I don't know exactly what it is. The singer's voice is really good. The guitar is great. In general, I think the lyrics are pretty good, and they're really catchy. I really like those songs. So, because of that, I think I'd put Screaming Trees in A. Honestly, they could go in S tier, but I think they'll stay in A tier because S tier, a lot of bands in S tier have like personal significance, and Screaming Trees doesn't necessarily have a personal significance. They're just really good. So I think I'll keep them in A tier. But a little fun fact about Screaming Trees is that their singer and I believe their drummer were actually in a band with Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, and it's called Mad Seasons. And they also have Mike McCready, which is one of Pearl Jam's guitarists. So, supergroup, that's pretty fun. Screaming Trees is in A tier. My next big band, my fourth big band, is Smashing Pumpkins. I feel like everyone knows Smashing Pumpkins, especially from 1979 is the song. I think everyone knows that one. It's good, but it's just not that good. And honestly, I really wanted Smashing Pumpkins. It was originally going to be Stone Temple Pilots, but I really wanted to talk about Smashing Pumpkins because I just don't like them, and I really wanted to talk about how I don't like them. So, also, my mom calls them Kürbisse kaputtschlagen, which is Smashing Pumpkins in German. So that's just kind of a joke around my house that I thought I'd share. Smashing Pumpkins is just, I just can't stand Billy Corgan's voice. It's just so annoying. I can't stand it. So honestly, I don't even really like them. Like, the music's great, but the voice, I just can't take the voice. It's horrible. So honestly, I can't even put them high on this list, but I also can't put them super low because the music isn't bad. So I think I'm going to put them at C. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, I'll keep them at C. I won't go any lower because that's just kind of unfair. He can't do anything about his voice. I just really don't like it. So I'll put them in C. Next, for my fourth smaller band, I'll be talking about Babes in Toyland. I feel like Babes in Toyland is one of the only girl grunge bands that I can think of other than like Hole. But Babes in Toyland, I never see them talk about. Honestly, I don't even really listen to them that much, but I do really like a few songs by them that I feel like deserve to be talked about. So for Babes in Toyland, I think their album Nemesisters is really good. I also really like how bright and ugly the album cover art is. I don't know, it looks really fun to draw. Babes in Toyland is kind of very similar to Hole, which I'll be talking about later. They also have a song called Bruised Violet, which is about the singer of Hole. So they had a little bit of a feud there, which, understandable. I think that song's also pretty good, but I think the reason I'm gonna have to put them kind of low is for the same reason as my next band. The lyrics don't mean anything. For the most part, aside from Bruised Violet, the lyrics don't mean anything. Like, it's just gibberish, which isn't necessarily bad, but it doesn't give me anything to hold on to. It's just a catchy song at that point. So I'll be putting them in C tier because I know that they're not that good, but I really like them, so I can't put them lower. Honestly, they could be higher. I might put them in B tier. I'm gonna put them in B tier, actually, because I really like them. I just don't like their lyrics, but the music itself is pretty good. And next, for my final big band, honestly, I feel like everyone would be waiting for this, because it's Nirvana. Everyone knows Nirvana. Even if you don't know Nirvana, you know Nirvana. So there's a lot to say about them. Like I said with Babes in Toyland, I can't put them that high because the lyrics don't mean anything to me. They're not that great. Honestly, not even like music is that great. It's just catchy. That might be a hot take. That might be an unpopular opinion. They're not that great. I'm gonna have to put them in C tier because the music is catchy and Nirvana definitely had a huge impact on the culture of the time, and even now. You see a lot of girls walking around in like Nirvana hoodies and stuff, and a lot of like kids with like Nirvana shirts and things, but it's just not that good. Like, it definitely was unique for the time, I feel like, but not necessarily good in my opinion. The lyrics are gibberish, and even the music isn't that good. So they are staying in C tier. And finally, for my last band, my last small band, and last band altogether, I'll be talking about Hole, which is definitely goes hand in hand with Nirvana. Hole, on the other hand, they're quite the opposite for me. Hole is, other than Alice in Chains, probably my favorite grunge band ever. They're also probably my favorite girl grunge band, or, well, girl band in general. I think a lot of the reason Hole is so high, like, I know that there's a lot of controversies with, like, Courtney Love, like I was talking about with Babes in Toyland. She definitely got into a fight there. Not great, but I think a lot of the music for me has that personal significance that I can relate to a lot of the music as a teenage girl. So I feel like I can't put them lower than an A. And honestly, I wouldn't want to put them lower than an A. Hole is really good. The music, I feel like sometimes the music can be a little bit underwhelming, but the lyrics is really what makes it for me. Sometimes the lyrics will seem like gibberish, but I think it's not. Nah, scratch that. The lyrics are great, actually. There's nothing wrong with the lyrics, actually. I can relate to them really well, especially as a teenage girl. I think another thing that makes Hole's music really great is I do really like Courtney's voice. And once again, to bring up album covers, I think a lot of the album covers are really cool. Pretty on the Inside, I love the pink on it, and I also really like the Live Through This album cover. That one's really good. I have seen the movie that the album cover is based on, which is Carrie by Stephen King, and I think the album cover is just really pretty. I don't know. It's really pretty. I like drawing it. I've even dressed up as the album cover for a photography assignment. So with all that in mind, I'm definitely putting Hole at S tier, and that's probably my favorite grunge band next to Alice in Chains. Anyway, that's my ranking. Thank you for listening. You can catch me again next week, and I'll be talking about glam music.